First off, thank you for agreeing to help out with this community process. Each of you has been asked to help out with this selection process based upon your own significant community contributions and domain expertise. Does this person help build up a dynamic, vibrant database app development community? When you get your email, you will get a link that gets you into a private subspace just for the judges. One of the 5 categories. I'm going to use the ORDS category as an example. You'll see something like this. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is these instructions over here. Read the one-pager guidelines for judges. If you click on that, you'll see there's a bunch of just ideas that we have just to put in your head in terms of what we're looking for, what you expect, what we're trying to achieve through this process. It's a one-pager. Please take the time to read that before you make any selections. The important thing here is there's one gotcha that I'm going to cover in this video that I definitely want you to know about before you make any selections over here in terms of what you're doing over here. Examine the nominations and start your selection. We also have some links down here, guidelines for the judges, this video, ORDS nomination. If you click on that, you will see a different look at it. Basically a full page, easier to read. When you've got complex nominations, this might be a little bit easier for you to view the different nominations. One of the things that you're going to have to look at here is with the nominations, we will obviously sort out. There are some that are not eligible. Anybody that is helping out on as a judge, like Gwen on the ORDS panel, is not eligible to be nominated or on the selected nominees in any of the lists. Hopefully we will have already removed those from the system before the judges get access to the spaces. But if you do come across an Oracle ACE or ACE director that is serving on one of the panels that we missed, please flag it by using the comments. And you can just do that like this. Add a comment. The other thing that you'll notice with the nominations is if a nomination is longer, you can always do the read more. Chris Rice here, his nomination is pretty long-winded because I had to create one that showed the read more. And when you click on that, you can see that, wow, he's a scuba diver and instructor and all sorts of other stuff. And as much as he knows about ORDS, guess what? He's not eligible either because he is an Oracle employee. So he's actually not eligible for 2 reasons. One, he's an Oracle employee, and 2, he's also a judge on one of the panels. Ben Bernanke. Okay, so Ben heads up the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank. Is quite knowledgeable about the world of finance. The problem I have with this nomination is I'm not really sure whether the Federal Reserve Bank is a private institution or whether it's a government institution, but I'm pretty sure that since Ben was voted in, he's probably a government employee. No government employees, no matter where they work, are eligible for the nomination. So that would be another one. That, you know, if you come across somebody, you guys might know them better than we do. You might pick up something. If you see somebody that is a government employee, just flag it, gov. There's also the stuff in terms of Quebec and Italy. If you're interested in why the Quebec issue, you can't be a citizen of Quebec. They have provincial legislation that says that you have to have everything translated into French. All the guidelines, all the awards website, everything. And since we're doing a global program, we're not going to be translating everything into each of the local languages. So all of the nominations will be in English. So sorry about that for Quebec, and I think Italy's probably in a similar situation because I did notice that the legal guys put them. They don't put those in just for laughs. So one of the things that as you guys are working as judges and working with your teams, the thing I want you guys to think about is you might know these people, like, I mean, the Tim Halls and various different people. Tyler Muth, obviously another Oracle guy that isn't going to be eligible. Martin, obviously, he's a judge on the ORDS panel, so even though he's on the ORDS panel, he can't be nominated in the PL SQL category, even though the work that he does for Aura open source is awesome. The logger utility that those guys did is phenomenal. They're not eligible. The one thing I would encourage all of the judges to do is, as you go through your selection process and you're examining a nomination, we'll just use Martin even though he's not eligible. Think of it in terms of this, okay, Aura open source. You guys know where that is. You'll probably be able to find it easily. Maybe not the other, maybe the other judges won't. But when we go to the public sessions where people can actually vote and we open up to everybody, then we want as much information in here as possible. So the way you guys can help us out with that is, as you go through and you look at, okay, well, here's the Aura open source. Once you look it up, you can just add that in on the comments. Add a comment and put in your comments. You can also put in there information like what you think about the candidate in terms of why you think he's a good candidate, or why you don't think that person's a good candidate, because maybe they have terrible tone in the forums and they're not very helpful, and they just have an abrasive character. The other thing that is obviously helpful is if you throw in people's blogs. So if you guys put in comments like this, links to significant contributions or to their blogs or to the Twitter handles or stuff, if you add those in the comments, then when we go to build the public spaces, we can actually include that as part of the nomination profile, so that when we go to the public voting of the people can actually see a little bit more detail, and that way, if they don't know the candidates as well as you know them, it'll be easy for them to research it, and it'll also be easy for the other judges, if they haven't gone through that they can just click on the links that you've added in your comments as well, because now you can see that you can just click on those links and go straight to them. It makes it a little easier. So thank you very much. We super appreciate all your help and time in this, and just all your work that you do with the Oracle ACE program and the OTN communities in general. Thanks. So here's the gotcha. I'll start with Kent Graziano. He's on the panel, so he won't be eligible. I'll use him as an example. All of the nominations will start off with a neutral, 0 points. If you decide Kent doesn't know what he's doing, then you can say, hey, I don't think Kent should be on the finalist thing. And you give him a -10. Not that you would, because he obviously knows what he's doing, but more to the point, he's not eligible. Now, the problem with this is that if you say, okay, yeah, he definitely does know what he's doing, you can change it to 10. If you go back and you say, well, I really don't know Kent that well, you actually have no way of getting it back to a 0 or a neutral on this platform. So just a gotcha to remember on that. Make sure that you go through and know which way you want to vote for somebody before you actually start making your selections. So in each category, we're looking for at least 7 to 10 really good, solid finalists. And that's what we're looking for you judges on the panels to sort through. If all 5 of you say, hey, we really agree and we think that, we have more than 10 here, maybe 15, Todd, that are really solid, then obviously, we can do that too. Just keep in mind that if you do have too many finalists on your list, then natural inclination of people that are voting that don't know the people that well is to give the best preferences to the top people on the list. That's why we're thinking 10 was kind of a good number to shoot